bubble. One of the things we said we would tackle, one of those big terms we talked about while we were ending our last video on the bottom of it, a filter bubble. So if we were to be very, very particular in describing a filter bubble, some things are out of your control.
Yeah.
Then again, others aren't. So it's up to you to decide. So in case you are new around here, I'll let you in on a little secret. This isn't the first time I'm sharing a stage with the mighty Hannah Arinaitwe. We have been doing a video on her YouTube channel about social media, and now we are getting into the nitty-gritties of the algorithm and you. So without further ado, that's almost poetic, yo. Without further ado, I'll allow her to introduce herself to our great audience here at Starting Out.
Hi everyone, my name is Hannah Arinaitwe, a student at Macquarie University pursuing journalism and communication. I am the CEO of The Bottom of It. It is both a blog and a YouTube channel. Check it out in the link in the description box. And I also work at Power FM as a radio presenter. Catch my show every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. and enjoy yourself some lovely music on a Sunday.
Wow. You can see the voice is even trained for the radio, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. And, these days we like saying, we are not chilling with everyday people. You can hear CEO pursuing journalism, and then, Power FM. So everybody I'm going to bring you around here on Starting Out is somebody who will blow you away. So now, let us get into the beautiful topic of today. How you can make the algorithm work for you. First of all, we are wondering, what is an algorithm? We always hear it so many times. Movie pop culture has made it famous. You hear these the nerds and the people who are very, very brainy.
Yeah.
They're always talking about, I'm doing a couple of algorithms. And, it's even a bragging measure.
I know.
So, when you go to Google, you find out that an algorithm is a set of instructions or steps that are, they are mathematical, and they basically perform a specific task. Now, from experience, you'll know that human beings are the worst probably in making decisions sometimes. So when you leave it to a computer to do either A or B, there's a way it will just, there will not be a lot of logic behind it. It will just decide which one statistically is the best option. So that's when we talk about the algorithm. It's the one that controls most of the internet platforms we are using today. The Facebooks, the Instagrams, all these things. And behind the scenes, there are so many numbers. Can you imagine calculating all those numbers for?
I can't imagine. Maybe you can imagine the fact that you're doing a bit more math than I am. But if you're someone like me, you just look at the surface and you never even find out about what happens behind everything you see on social media.
Definitely. So we know as of 2021 there are about 4.6 billion users of the internet, and enough of them, around 60%, access them from mobile phones. Can you imagine? One time I saw a story that there are more mobile phone users than the people who are under the poverty line in this country.
So someone would rather be starving but have a smartphone with internet.
So
that's very ironical.
You get
very ironical.
Wow, you really get to see the fact that it is becoming, it's becoming very, very necessary. It's becoming a need. It's becoming ubiquitous with being a person, actually, that you need to have a mobile phone. So the fact is, whether you're interested in the algorithm or not, you are definitely among those 4.66 billion people by the time you're even watching this video. So now that we know that all these people use it, we know that we are under the control, or our lives are driven to some extent by these numbers, the algorithms, and that whenever we use social media, all these are at play. So we want to find out, how exactly do they affect us? We can begin very simply with when you open your feed, have you ever realized that some things in, you know, Instagram, TikTok, whatever, Facebook, Twitter, I know she's the big one on Twitter, but how many followers on Twitter, by the way?
I think I now have, from yesterday, I think I have 1,080.
Wow, 1,080 on Twitter.
And on Twitter, and I don't do follow trends or anything. I just post and.
First educators, what are follow trends?
So follow trends is when you let's say someone tweets and it's like drop your handle and get more, follow each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use follow trends. No hate to those who use them, but I feel like people should follow you for the content you have, and not just for just.
Wow.
Because then again, you can have 1,000 followers, and when you tweet something, you have only one like, which is yours.
True. In fact, I hear of people who even buy followers these days. So
Yeah.
wow, it's a mad world out there. Now, you realize that all these are in some way customized. You see that the things that you like, the things you agree with, the things probably you search for most are the ones that appear there.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, Hannah. Hannah, what appears in your feed? On all those social media pages, you know, each of them actually can have different
stuff.
feeds.
That's true.
So
On YouTube, my feed is filled with K-dramas, Chinese dramas, or this guys, Turkish dramas. And then on my Instagram, I have more Christian content because I follow a lot of these Christian artists to keep informed about what is happening in the music industry for my shows. So I have a lot of Christian content on my Instagram. Facebook, I have a lot of everything, every single thing. I think Facebook, because I don't know, Facebook, I have a little bit of everything. Twitter, I have a lot of content, Ugandan content.
yes, on your internet feed, we've seen that you've said a number of things appear on your feeds in different places. Wow.
Yes.
That is, it also goes to show you, it can also help you scan your own behavior online. You can just see that a bit of accountability.
Yeah.
That this is what I see most on Twitter, this is what I push most here.
What appears on your feed?
I hoped I would survive that question.
What appears on your feed?
What appears on my feed? Okay, I think I'll begin with Instagram since it's like the one I use most. By the way, we thank God I finally hit 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Congratulations!
And I'm sure it's also thanks so much to this audience here on Starting Out, because
Yeah.
that's where I mainly link this page. So on Instagram, what mostly appears now, I'm a movie guy. I watch lots and lots of movies, and especially concentrated in the MCU. So of course I have a lot of Marvel and DC, but actually most of the time, like now, it depends on also the seasons. You'll find that around the time Spider-Man came out, everything there was almost Spider-Man. You'd see like the top 4 things are for Spider-Man, then some other things of Marvel. Then now we enter the Christian content, which is also now something I'm trying to do a little bit more. After I had a discussion with one of my friends, and he told me that, you know, like it's a worrying significance that you can go there and you find that your feed is not showing so much of Christianity, yet it's a major part of your life.
Yeah.
And also yet
By the way,
unintentionally growing yourself by having content there glaring at you. I usually try and make sure that when I go on Instagram and I find many things that are outside Christianity and like one part of Christianity, I have to touch it a bit at least, and I listen to it so that it will know that the next time I come,
that is more of what they should be showing you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on top of that, yeah, there's a lot of movie analysis. Then there are the entrepreneur things. You know, a lot of Gary V, Grant Cardone, Boosie.
I'm sure everyone on this channel knows.
Oh, you've just also what? You've told them. You've told them one of the main things I spend my time on, or where I get a lot of my information on. But there's also a video on that, the business mentors from afar. Here on this channel, you can always check it out as well. I can put in a link in the description. Now, that is Instagram. Now, Facebook, I spend very little time on Facebook, so I will see actually more of the people around my friends, the followers, probably what they are doing in their lives, their most recent event. On rare occasions is when I'll find the 10x movement, because for them they are heavy on Facebook. They love meeting so much on Facebook. The 10x movement, Grant Cardone and team. So they're the ones that will appear mostly on my Facebook. Twitter is a very dormant place for me, but LinkedIn, yes, LinkedIn most of the time I'll find. I'll find lots of developments in the world, like Bill Gates notes.
But I'm also on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is more serious business stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll find a lot of. Then you'll also see somebody who has posted their achievements of late. Probably they'll try and be as close in your network as possible. So now that we have seen that, it's customized for you. Actually, even you realize the ads, what the adverts that come on your page, even just when you're searching from Google itself. We can both search the same thing. I tried it out one time at KSK. I sat with a friend, and then when they put, it was a lady, and once she typed something and she was reading on that exact page, it was the same article we were reading, but on the side it was showing, shoes,
bags,
all her lady stuff, and I'm like, okay, let me see if I'll also get some
cars. Did you get cars?
Oh my god, I'm not yet very big on cars, but eventually maybe they can show me a Tesla. But I think when they see age also, all those things are affected by a number of things. When they see the age, they're like,
what did you see?
At that time, I was very big on conservation, and I still am. So they were showing me a lot of ecotourism places, destinations around the world, not only here in Uganda. So I was like, but how do they know?
Algorithm, guys, the algorithm.
How do they know that this is exactly what I like? And then another friend of mine, a lady who does software engineering, I believe, she said that one time she went on her Twitter and she went to a certain place where they see the topics that you're probably interested in, and it showed her, machine learning, software engineering, some other computer technical stuff, and I'm like, wow, artificial intelligence.
The algorithm is a really strong place.
Don't you have friends who have seen also whom certain things must appear in their feed?
Definitely. I think I have a friend, for them, if they were to go on internet, I think the adverts they would see is fashion based. You know that high fashion? High fashion, where they wear wooden shoes and all that crazy stuff that they call fashion. Definitely always up to speed on that.
Wow. I know a particular person. In fact, I should have him here sometime. Shadrach Kizaya is a great. For him, once he goes there, it's a lot of financial stuff. I like, man loves a lot of financial analysis, and he used to tell us that he likes math so much. We're like, you guys, for us, we are just doing math because we know we will find it later on in the future. So
but
you would rather suffer now, but for him, you see a lot of those rare charts, and you're like, guy. The love is too much. It's really, really too much. So one important thing we want to highlight is that algorithms they're usually not based on, let's say, you in particular, like you're not in control of them. What they are based on is those companies that have that are a big thing around them. The Facebooks, the Instagrams, all those big companies. What they try to do is to get a certain audience to see a certain a certain ad in particular. So definitely, if they are going to put a couple of ads there, they will definitely want to know who is going to see those ads. So they will always try and make sure, and then some others are meant to keep you on those platforms as long as possible, so that there's a higher chance of you clicking on that ad, all those things, and you find that they are based on your search history. There's when you log into a certain when you log into a certain website or something, and then there's that the fun term, and we have a cookie policy. So do you agree? I agree. You have to move. So
sometimes there are like so many things, they mention so many things, and at the end it's like, do you agree? Cookie policy, do you agree? You don't even read anything, you just say yes, I agree.
Of the algorithm in itself, designed by those companies, is made sure it's made in a way that you have to stay longer, you have to be able to put a certain number of ads, and it's also because the people who pay let's say who want those ads put out are also big powerful companies and stuff like that. It actually reminds me that the concept of how Facebook and the big social media companies and Google make money fundamentally isn't so different from journalism and media companies.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't believe that, ad revenue is enough to sustain these people who have, camera systems and, they're always going out, spending a fortune on transport and collecting stories. But then now that it is, it's highly targeted and then it goes directly to the people that need to see it, I think they are also under a certain level of pressure that in order to make sure that these people keep paying a fortune, you have to make sure that the people on the farthest end, the people who are looking at your things on the front end, they must see what they like. Exactly. And they will stay. Exactly. So you kind of realize there's a lot of dynamics.
And that's why there's something called prime time on television. Like there's that specific time around 8 p.m., 7:30, 9 p.m. at that time where they put a lot of adverts from these really huge companies, because that is prime time. That's when everyone from home is tired and is seated in front of their TV screen to watch anything that is on air. So yeah.
So it's a very, very deep concept. Now, we've been talking about what appears in your feed. In particular, there has been a term that has been coined to talk about when you are looking at your feed, that things are specifically tailored for you based on what you searched before, and that is what they call a filter bubble. One of the things we said we would tackle, one of those big terms we talked about while we were ending our last video on the bottom of it, a filter bubble. So if we were to be very, very particular in describing a filter bubble, it is a space where previous online behavior determines what you see. So definitely everything that you've been doing from the time you're logged into, all your social media platforms, when you go on Google, what you search for, all that previous online behavior, your shopping habits, those who use online shopping, it will be used in a way to target specifically what you are going to see. So ideally that's amazing, because you don't have to start struggling. Whenever you search on Google, how many million results do they show you after?
Very many.
After the first one, so there is no way a human being is going to go and search for all those ones. So by the mere fact the numbers are going to save you that trouble, the algorithm is going to save you that trouble and bring you, let's say, basically what you need to see, like what you most likely want to see. It will save you a lot. Though, of course, there's some detriment to that. Some people will label their website a certain thing so that, it appears at the top of your results. Now when you click, you start seeing a lot of rare ads. I think the most ads I usually see, if it's not sports betting companies,
I think sports betting companies spend the largest amount of their budget in advertisement, online advertisement. Because everywhere you will see betting companies.
Like you won't even forget. You'll be like, wow. You may not have wanted to know that sports betting is a thing, but when you're on the internet, it's a thing. So now, when we look at that particular part of, the detriments of being in a filter bubble, it also means that the amount of things that you can see are, they are limited. You will not always have a very big perspective on things. And actually what that leads to, especially the filter bubble and the echo chamber, which we're about to look at, they are mostly used in political debates, political analysis, because since people are inclined to a certain political space and it's now mostly becoming online, they'll start seeing more of what they agree with, and probably when they reach a certain time and they see what they don't agree with, they are very heavily intolerant. You can't even sit down in a conversation with somebody like that who has been in a filter bubble that is constantly closing. They are not doing anything to make sure that they see anything beyond beyond what they see because of what the algorithm has said. So at a certain point, they are so heavily intolerant to what anybody else has to say, what anybody else thinks. It's just, it's a real tragedy.
Yeah.
So that is what they call the filter bubble.